Yes, sir. I'm back. Sam B with the tune-up show. Let's do it. So I was, you know, let me take a deep breath real fast. Let me get my, let me get my words together. A lot of people, they hit me up. I don't know why people just don't leave what they think about my videos in the comment board, right? I ask people, hey, stop calling me. If you have something to say about a video that I'm doing, put it in the comment board, right? That helps the videos. That helps everything gets to, because see, even if you don't like it yourself, someone else, it may not be for you. It may be for someone else. It may be for someone else to want to hear. Okay? I'm just one person. And I don't consider myself an expert on anything. All right? So what I'm saying is certain things, and I'm not going to keep putting up disclaimers about my videos and what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. All this for some reason, all this sensibility disclaimer crap, it's all crap. Okay? And what I will start doing, I will start minding the vulgar language and the profanity. I will start doing that, of course. But as far as the content is concerned, yes, I am going to be dwelling into conversations that most people, they don't want to hear about. Well, here's the thing. Just because you don't want to hear about it, let me tell you something. Whatever anyone's into, there's a YouTube channel for that. Okay? Just like how they say there's a phone app for that. Yeah, there's a YouTube channel for that. So if you're like a womanist, feminist, okay? Yes, there's plenty of feminist, womanist, Christian feminist YouTube channels out there for you. So if that's your rhetoric, if that's your diatribe, if that's your ideology, I'm sure there's a YouTube channel for it. If you're a guy and you're a simp and you like being and you love being a simp, well, there's YouTube channels for you. Okay? But if you're a real person, if you're a real man, if you're a real woman, and you're honestly trying to understand life, you're trying to figure out solutions for life, for different aspects of life, then yes, the Tune Up Show, this channel just may be for you. All right? Because I'm dealing with real people with real problems that's looking for real solutions. And the main solution, yes, is a relationship with your creator, the Most High, God. Okay? And I always go back to this. I don't know why people say that you don't talk about God enough. You don't do this. I'm pretty sure I talk about God in majority of my videos. You're just probably not listening. And see, that's a big, huge problem. And that's probably why I'm playing this next video, because the biggest problem in this country is no one's listening. Okay? We're playing things in the background where we're being the headline readers. Okay? No one's really taking out time to really listen to what someone else is honestly saying. We're all just sitting there waiting for each other to talk. So that's why I'm gonna play this video, and of course I'm gonna add my commentary as well. But this video is about Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci. And excuse me, I burped. But if you're familiar with Rand Paul, he's a senator, Senator Rand Paul. Of course, everyone knows who Dr. Fauci is, Dr. Fauci. But they've been in pretty much huge debates. I think this is the one debate where I think Rand Paul is really taking him to task. And Dr. Fauci, he needs to be taken to task, because there is a lot of things he's saying. Just like Alec Baldwin, just like a lot of these celebrities, A lot of these leftist Democrats, including the administration at large right now, they're saying a lot of things that's not adding up with the research that they're getting people to talk about. And so I'm gonna play this interview in its entirety. It's about 15 minutes, and I'm gonna talk about it. I don't know. Let's see what happens. All right, so let's do this.
Fauci, I don't expect you today to admit that you approved of NIH funding for gain-of-function research in Wuhan, but your repeated denials have worn thin, and a majority of Americans, frankly, don't believe you. Even the NIH now admits that EcoHealth Alliance did perform experiments in Wuhan that created viruses not found in nature that actually did gain in lethality. The facts are clear. The NIH did fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan, despite your protestations. You can deny it all you want, but even the Chinese authors of the paper, in their paper, admit that viruses not found in nature were created, and yes, they gained in infectivity. Your persistent denials, though, are not simply a stain on your reputation, but are a clear and present danger to the country and to the world. As Professor Kevin Esfelt of MIT has written, gain-of-function research looks like a gamble that civilization can't afford to risk. And yet here we are again, with you steadfast in your denials. Why does it matter? Because gain-of-function research with laboratory-created viruses not found in nature could cause a pandemic even worse the next time. We're suffering today from one that has a mortality of approximately 1%. They're experimenting with viruses that have mortalities of between 15 and 50%. Yes, our civilization could be at risk from one of these viruses. Experiments that combine unknown viruses with known pandemic-causing viruses are incredibly risky. Experiments that combine unknown viruses with coronaviruses that have as much as 50% mortality could endanger civilization as we know it. And here you sit, unwilling to accept any responsibility for the current pandemic and unwilling to take any steps to prevent gain-of-function research from possibly unleashing an even more deadly virus. You mislead the public by saying that the published viruses could not be COVID. Well, exactly no one is alleging that. No one is alleging that the published viruses by the Chinese are COVID. What we are saying is that this was risky type of research, gain-of-function research. It was risky to share this with the Chinese, and that COVID may have been created from a not yet revealed virus. We don't anticipate the Chinese are going to reveal the virus if it came from their lab. You know that, but you continue to mislead. You continue to support NIH money going to Wuhan. You continue to say you trust the Chinese scientist. You appear to have learned nothing from this pandemic. Will you today finally take some responsibility for funding gain-of-function research in Wuhan? Senator.
And before I let him go into his spiel, all right. If anything Rand Paul said went over anybody's head that's listening to this or watching this, Rand Paul is basically taking Dr. Fauci to task, because Dr. Fauci, he has been the head of infectious, and he's been the head director, I believe, of diseases known to man, unknown to man. He was the head of the NIH, all right, the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Fauci, he gained a lot of prominence through this whole coronavirus thing. And like I said, I'm not even going to try to pretend like I'm some kind of health director or doctor or nurse or anything. But, I also know BS when I smell it and when I see it. And a lot of this stuff has not been explained. Dr. Fauci is being taken to task by Rand Paul today, or right now in this video, because he refused. I mean, man, one day I'm gonna put a collage together. There's many collages being done about Fauci where he backpedals so much. Okay, it should be a sport. All right, because this man, I mean, like I said, he nothing he says is adding up to any real science. A lot of what's happened with this coronavirus, it was done by bloated science. It was done by a lot of signing off, a lot of brushing under the rugs of certain things. Do I believe that Fauci knows more about this virus than he's letting on? Yeah, I believe so. I believe that he was definitely in Wuhan, China. I believe he's known about this virus for a very long time, and he's being taken to task. All right, he's being taken to task. So I'm gonna let him continue what he's doing.
With all due respect, I disagree with so many of the things that you've said. First of all, gain of function is a very nebulous term. We have spent, not us, but outside bodies, a considerable amount of effort to give a more precise definition to the type of research that is of concern that might lead to a dangerous situation. You are aware of that. That is called P3CO.
We're aware that you deleted gain of function from the NIH website.
Well, I can get back to that in a moment if we have time. But let's get back to the operating framework and guide rails of which we operate under. And you have ignored them. The guidelines are very, very clear that you have to be dealing with a pathogen that clearly is shown and very likely to be highly transmissible in an uncontrollable way in humans and to have a high degree of morbidity and mortality, and that you do experiments to enhance that, hence the word EPPP, enhanced pathogens of
So when EcoHealth Alliance took the virus, SHC014, and combined it with WIV1 and caused a recombinant virus that doesn't exist in nature, and it made mice sicker, mice that had humanized cells, you're saying that that's not gain-of-function research?
According to the framework and guidelines.
So what you're doing is defining away gain-of-function.
No.
You're simply saying it doesn't exist because you changed the definition on the NIH website. This is terrible, and you're completely trying to escape the idea that we should do something about trying to prevent a pandemic from leaking from a lab. There's the preponderance of evidence now points towards this coming from the lab. And what you've done is change the definition on your website to try to cover your ass, basically. That's what you've done. You've changed the website to try to have a new definition that doesn't include the risky research that's going on.
And, you know, and for people just looking at Dr. Fauci's face, okay, this I mean, I mean, look, for anyone that has kids that are like caught red-handed, you know, taking their hands, putting their hands in the cookie jar. His face resembles that. All right, this guy he looks as guilty as he's being charged. Okay, there is a lot going on right now in the DNC party. The people that they have, CNN just fired Chris Cuomo, one of the lead anchors on CNN. Okay. Like I said before, the presidential administration, people are like leaving by the droves. All right, this whole thing is falling apart because of the way it got together. Okay, there was no solidarity to begin with people that went along with this bloated science. Now, what am I saying? Is coronavirus real? Is COVID-19 real? Yes, it's very real. But is it the common cold, the common virus? I believe it is. It is that as well. Okay, it's something that was grown in a lab, something that was mutated purposely in a lab. Okay, that's what this is. That's why you got the Omicron now. Okay, this is just the second stage. Okay, if anyone that knows anything about the CDC, part of their research and function is that they not only package and label viruses, but they also grow it. Okay, they grow it to its fullest potential so that way they can see whether or not it's going to be a complete danger to the public. All right. And that's what coronavirus was. They grew this in a lab. All right. I don't know why is that not understandable to people and what the functions of the CDC is. Anyone that has watched a decent viral outbreak movie, it's the same way. Okay. They grow this stuff and they grow it in the lab. They add human protein to these viruses to see how it's going to affect the human body over time. Okay. And do I believe Fauci? What Fauci he said it in his emails. Okay, a lot of news media is covering this. This man is not solely responsible, but he is. He shares responsibility for this virus being let loose in the world at its most volatile state. All right. And that's just really what it's all about. But we're going to continue this.
That doesn't include the risky research that's going on. Until you admit that it's risky, we're not going to get anywhere. You have to admit that this research was risky. The NIH has now rebuked them. Your own agency has rebuked them. But the thing is you're still unwilling to admit that they gained in function when they say they became sicker. They gained in lethality. It's a new virus. That's not gain of function?
According to the definition that is currently operable, Senator, let's make it clear for the people who are listening. The current definition was done over a 2 to 3 year period by outside bodies, including the NSABB, 2 conferences by the National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine on December 2014, March 2016. We commissioned external risk-benefit assessment, and then on January of 2017, the Office of Science and Technology Policy of the White House issued the current policy.
And coincidentally,
I have not changed
the definition
any
appeared
definition.
on the same day the NIH said that, yes, there was a gain of function in Wuhan. The same day the definition appeared, the new definition, to try to define away what's going on in Wuhan. Until you accept it, until you accept responsibility, we're not going to get anywhere close to trying to prevent another lab leak of this dangerous sort of experiment. You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign.
Thank you, Senator Paul. And I would like to give the time.
And just to add more to Rand Paul, American, as an American person living in this country, you should very much be interested in things like this. Is it boring? Is it this? This is your life. This is your livelihood. If you want to believe that just taking a vaccine and you can go back to your whatever it is that you want to do in life and everything's going to be okay, or take your booster shot and then all right, well, hey, time to go back to the club. Hey, do you? I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to people like that anymore. All right, because see, you've already made up in your mind that that's what you want to do. So I'm not talking to people like that right now. The people I'm talking to right now are the people that's teeter-tottering. They're piercing the veil. They want real answers about this coronavirus. Okay, that's who I'm talking to. You have to watch stuff like this, and that's the reason why I'm putting this on like this, and so that way, hell, even I need to watch more stuff like this, because at the end of the day, it's your life, and these people you see, these people that are wearing their mask and wearing these, like the one guy on the left, he's wearing a double mask. Why are they doing that? Do you think these people are actually walking around town wearing these double masks, wearing these visors? No, a lot of that's theater. Okay, a lot of it's theater. A lot of it is just they're putting on a show for you. All right, these people are very well paid to put on a show for you, and who knows? Maybe this just might be theater, you know. But I do know one thing. I know that a lot of people that are in control of this country, the UN, United Nations, the globalist community at large, they need to be questioned. Because see, let me tell you something. This is why there are third and fourth and fifth world countries out here. This is why there's countries out here that are stricken with poverty, that are stricken with total genocide. Okay, you look at those countries in Africa. All right, all those cities that are in ruins. Okay, you look at over the Middle East. Look at all these countries. Places in Brazil, South America. You look at all these countries that invited this kind of authoritarian dictatorship style governments. These communist style governments. Look at Australia. Okay, these people can't even leave their houses now because they invited this kind of don't ask, don't tell, don't question style of government into their country. Okay, now these people can't even leave their houses. Okay, these people have armed policemen and military outside of their apartment complexes, making sure nobody leaves. Okay, they're arresting people for sneezing in the street. Is that what you want, America? Is that what you want? Is that the kind of life that you want? And for the people that's saying, well, it wouldn't be like that if everybody just get vaccinated. Well, no, I don't agree because there's countries out there that did get vaccinated. Canada, they're on 100%. They're on their way to being, 90% fully vaccinated, I guess, or that's just their words. I'm not sure. Australia, they're in a 94% compliance with their mandates. Okay, and look at these countries. They're just getting more and more and more strict. And look, if you're the type of person where you're saying, "Oh, well, I want the vaccine because I want to feel safe. I feel my body, my choice," and hey, that's fine. Do you? I'm not talking to you. That's fine. If you want to feel safe, you want to be in you want to live in your echo chamber with all your other friends that got vaccinated and you're all doing this for this. Because see, here's my thing about people that got vaccinated. For some reason, they quadrupled their lifestyle. Like if they were like a drinker, after they got vaccinated, they started drinking more and doing more crazier things. And it's like, hey, you do know that vaccine is not a cure-all. Like you can still get diabetes. You can still get STDs. You can still get liver cancer. You can still get heart cancer. You can still get all the above. Okay? Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some doctor or health nurse or health director or anything. But there are some answers that there are some questions that need to be answered about all this.
Time to Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, well, there were so many things that are egregious misrepresentation here, Madam Chair, that I don't think I'd be able to refute all of them, but just a couple of them for the listeners.
Because most of the things you can't refute is because a lot of them are correct. If you can't refute something, then that means that most likely it's correct. You see what I'm saying? Like when something is irrefutable, that means that it's correct at all turns. You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. But see, he's saying it in a sense where I don't have time to talk about it, or I don't have time. That's the sense he's talking about it in. He's not talking about it in the sense where it's all correct and that it can't be refuted, not because he doesn't choose to refute it, but it can't be refuted. All right, these are the word plays that you got to watch out for people like him. That like, cause see, let me tell you something. These people think you're all stupid. They think we're all dumb, and that's why they believe that they need to be in charge of us.
To hear for. You have said that I am unwilling to take any responsibility for the current pandemic. I have no responsibility for the current pandemic. The current pandemic, okay? Number two, you said the overwhelming amount of evidence indicates that's a lab leak. I believe most card-carrying viral phylogenists and molecular virologists would disagree with you that is much more likely, even though we leave open all possibilities, it's much more likely that this was a natural occurrence. Third, you say we can
tested 80,000 animals and no animals have been found with COVID.
Senator Paul, the time is...
Exactly. And that's why he's looking at him like that. He's like, dude, you're just full of it. You're just full of it. And he's looking at him like, you think these people are going to protect you to the end? They're not. And that's really what it's all about. You look at Chris Cuomo. Look at how all of CNN done turned their back on him. Let me tell you something. These people, they eat their own. They eat their own. All right. So for all you people out there that think that just by just following along, going along to get along, you want to be the part of the goal. You want to be a part of the go along to get along gang. Yeah, see what happens to you at the end when they're ready to offer up another sacrifice. You just better pray to God it's not you.
And third, you made a statement just a moment ago that's completely incorrect, where you say we continue to support research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
You approved it in August of last year.
No, your statement says, quote, I wrote it down as you were writing. You continue to support research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
You were in committee a month ago and said you still trust the Chinese scientists and you still support the research over there. You said it a month ago in committee.
Paul, I have allowed Dr. Fauci to respond. You've had your time. I'm going to give him.
He's going to be dishonest. He ought to be challenged.
Senator Paul, we will allow Dr.
I don't know. Like I said, this is theater. It's pretty damn good theater. But just to say, look, this is what's going on, guys. And let me see what he wants to say. I'm gonna shoot forward a little
Fauci
bit.
to respond after you've given accusations like that, Dr. Fauci.
Well, I don't have any more to say except to say that, as usual, and I have a great deal of respect for this body of the Senate, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
Well, because it works for you. It works for you. It works for you. It works to help you fabricate, get your stories together. That's why you realize he doesn't go on Fox. He doesn't go on. Well, he'll never go on Alex Jones. Just recently, Joe Rogan had on Dr. Sanjay Gupta. He's one of the CNN contributors. He gets on there. He one of the health consultants on there, and he straight up lied. He told Joe Rogan on his show that no, CNN should not have lied. They should not have said that you were taking horse dewormer when in fact you were taking viomectamine. I think that viomectamine, or I forget that word. I'm sorry. And CNN was saying the whole time that he was taking horse dewormer, which was totally erroneous. It was grossly incorrect. And what happened was, after that interview, after he admitted that CNN was wrong, he no more than 2 days later or a week later, he went on CNN and told CNN that Joe Rogan was wrong. So that just puts you in the mindset of people at how this whole coronavirus was being played out. This whole coronavirus was played out because it was due to the lack of the public knowing anything. It was due to the willful ignorance of the public. They just go along to get along, and the disingenuous behavior of the liberal media and the administration. And look, and for other people to say, oh, he sounds like a Trump fan. Well, no, I'm not a Trump fan, because Trump, he supports these vaccines. So no, I don't support. Look, I support free will. That's what I support. All right. That free will is the greatest gift God has ever given to human beings. So I support free will, but I don't support controlling the outcome of your free will. If you want to do certain things in this world, you want to do certain things in your life, you go do it. All right. That's what free will is all about. Free will is to be able to make your own choices. All right. It doesn't give you the right to control the aftermath of your choices. Whatever you choose to do is on you. But whatever happens after you choose to do what you want to do, that's not up to you. You don't have that. You don't have that. That's not up to you. You can pray for mercy. But that's the outcome is not you don't control that.
To have to say something, but he is egregiously incorrect in what he says. Thank you.
History will figure that out on its own.
So we will turn to Senator Hassan. Thank you.
Friday, January 31st, 2020 at 10:32 p.m.
Now this part, I think this is the. This is another committee that got together about what was going on with Fauci and everything that was happening about that last meeting before. So we're gonna let this play out a little bit.
Dr. Fauci gets an email from Christian Anderson. Christian Anderson's a British researcher who's received numerous grants from NIH. Two really important sentences are in that email. Two sentences that get Dr. Fauci's attention. The first is this: the unusual features of the virus make up a really small part of the genome. So one has to look really closely at all the sequences to see that some of the features look engineered. Again, this is January 31st, 2020. Second sentence: Eddie, Bob, Mike, and myself all find the genome inconsistent with expectations from evolutionary theory. Email arrives 10:32 to Dr. Fauci on January 31st, 2020. 2 hours later at 12:29 in the morning, Dr. Fauci sends an email to his top deputy, Mr. Hugh Auchincloss. Guys worked for Fauci for 15 years, part of his inner circle. Sends it, subject line says important in all capital letters. He attaches a paper on gain of function research written by Dr. Barrick and Dr. Shi. Dr. Shi, of course, is the so-called Bat Lady, Batwoman, the lady who does research in the Wuhan, China lab. This email, Dr. Fauci says, again, to his top deputy, it is essential that we speak this AM. Keep your cell phone on, read this paper. You will have tasks to do today that must be done. Notice the intensity. Notice the focus. I mean, this is the house is on fire email here. Now, 2 hours after that, at 2:48 in the morning, Dr. Fauci's busy this morning. 12:29, that email he sent to Dr. Auchincloss, his top deputy. 2 hours later at 2:48 in the morning, he sends another email, this one to Robert Kadlec, Assistant HHS Secretary, Trump appointee, not part of his inner circle, and he attaches a different article to this email, one that says the virus came from an animal, that downplays any lab leak theory. Now, again, notice the tone of this one. Bob, this just came out today. Gives a balanced view. Best, Tony. I mean, totally different from the previous. This is one like, oh, if you get a chance, read this, gives a balanced view. So the tone is different, but also that sentence, gives a balanced view, it's not true either.
Yeah, and also, and this is really good too, they're dealing with the emails about, and these emails that supposedly no one knows about, but there were emails sent from Dr. Fauci to the NIH to Dr. Fauci's people, people that worked for Dr. Fauci for years. And the problem is that, when it came to big tech, Facebook, Instagram, all these other people, Google, they did a phenomenal job in wiping clean a lot of certain posts that went up through Twitter, Facebook. People that have found out, even people that work for the New York Post, Huffington Post, Washington Post, look, this stuff was already broke. It already broke. All right. As far as lab leaks, this virus was let loose on the world through Dr. Fauci, the Wuhan lab in China. Okay. As you can see now, even in the city of Philadelphia, there's a lot of construction going on, a lot of new projects being done, a lot of new condominiums being done, and there's a lot of Chinese people coming into the city. All right. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know whether or not they're coming straight from China. They're skipping the immigration process. I don't know. I don't work for ICE. I don't work for the United States government. But what I do realize, what I do know is that I know a fire sale when I see one. Okay. And it seems like everything in this country must go. All right. Everything must go. Everything half off. All right. Going out of business sales. That's what it seems like what's happening with this country right now. What's happening with this country is being sold out to the globalist parties, spread apart. All right, I think this is exactly what's going on. But I'm gonna let him continue.
That's just not accurate. This article downplays, as I said, the lab leak theory, emphasizes evolutionary cause to the virus. What happens next? Later that same morning at 11:47 a.m., Dr. Fauci's deputy gets back to him. I just want to read you this whole email. The paper you sent me, the one he sent him on, that was written by the virologist from Wuhan, China, and Dr. Barrick, the paper you sent me says the experiments were performed before the gain of function pause, but have since been reviewed and approved by NIH. Not sure what that means, since Emily, someone else who works for Dr. Fauci, is sure that no coronavirus work has gone through the P3 framework, which of course is the oversight body that's supposed to approve any grant dollars going for gain of function research. No coronavirus work has gone through the P3 framework. Final sentence, she will try to determine if we have any distant ties to this work abroad. She will try to determine if our fingerprints are on any of this. All these emails happen in 13 hours. So 13 hours after Dr. Fauci gets the initial email from Christian Anderson saying, looks like this virus is engineered, not consistent with evolutionary theory, Dr. Fauci knows some important facts. First, Dr. Fauci knows there's a lethal virus on the loose that started in Wuhan, China. Second, he knows the American taxpayers have funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China. Third, he knows that the research grant didn't go through the required oversight board. Fourth, he knows the virus, quote, looks engineered and, quote, not consistent with evolutionary theory. And finally, fifth, Dr. Fauci knows he may have ties to this work in China. His fingerprints, in fact, may be on this. So what does Dr. Fauci do next? After he says, oh, whatever, what does he do next? He organizes a conference call for later that same day. I mean, this is the busiest 24 hours I think I've ever. He organizes a conference call, 12 people on the call. Dr. Fauci and 11 virologists from around the world. Virologists who've gotten millions of American tax dollars over the past several years. Now look at this list. Here's the list of people. There's only 2 Americans on the list, Tony Fauci and one other. Most of them are from around the world, as I said. I think the first thing you notice is who's not on the call. Who's not on the list? Is Dr. Kadlik on the list? The guy he sent the email to at 3 in the morning? Is Dr. Redfield the head of CDC? Dr. Girard, who's with us today, Assistant Secretary at HHS at the time? Dr. Birx, the lady who's soon to be COVID response coordinator? In fact, there's no one from the government on the call except Tony Fauci. Tony Fauci and 11 other individuals who got a bunch of American tax dollars over the years. What happened on the conference call? The short answer is we don't know. We don't know what they talked about. I mean, I think we got to.
That's all telling. He said this. He said it himself. That's the busiest 24 hours I've ever seen anybody working. Well, when you see someone working that fast and working that, if you ever, people that are kids and have brothers and sisters, and we're all young, and you're in the house and mom and dad is gone, and the house will tend to get messed up, and the thing about it is when you mess up that bad, when you mess up the house that bad, and then your mom and your dad calls and say, "Hey, I'm on my way home. Everything better be clean. Nothing better be out of place. Blah 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 blah. I can tell if you messed up something. All right, so don't mess up anything." And then you and your brothers and sisters, you're looking around. You're like, oh crap. So you get into a panic, right? Your brothers and sisters, you all start panicking. You start cleaning up things. You start cleaning up things that didn't even need to be cleaned up. In the panic of trying to clean something up, basically trying to cover up something, you tend to miss things. Okay? Things tend to get really looked at. Then your mom, your dad come home and they're looking around the house, and yeah, it looks clean, but it looks different clean. It looked like you did something else. And then they start walking around more, and they notice that, wait, something was broken. Hey, this was here first. Hey, why is this over here? Like, what were you doing in here? Like, they can see that it's clean, but it's different. That's what this is all about. All these emails, and he's shooting all these emails to people and giving everybody these certain things to do because it's a cleanup job. And just like what Mr. Jordan said, he knows that there's a chance that he could be linked to this virus. He knows that he could be linked to this viral outbreak from the Wuhan lab in China. And that's why he sent out all these emails. Okay? Because see, when you're in trouble, you're going to do everything you can to get out of trouble. All right? It's just like a lot of people who said, people that get off on murder or rape and because they got a lot of money and they did this, that, and the third. I tell people all the time, well, if you're rich and you got a lot of money, you're going to spend as much money as you possibly can to make sure you get out. If you believe in your heart that you didn't do it, or you believe that you're innocent, or you believe that, hey, I don't want to go to jail, regardless if I did it or not. And if you got the money that you want to spend, yes, you got plenty of people that spend half their fortune on being proven innocent or just being acquitted, which is, not really the same thing, but proven innocent and just being acquitted, they're two different things, but, we're going to continue.
A good idea. We don't know for sure, but we do know what happened 4 days later. 4 days later, February 4th, 2020, Christian Anderson, the guy who started it all, who said the virus looks engineered, Christian Anderson said this 4 days later. The crackpot theories going around at the moment relate to this virus being somehow engineered. That is demonstrably false, close quote. What? In 4 days, this guy went from this looks engineered to now that's demonstrably false. 4 days, he went from this isn't consistent with evolutionary theory. Now we know it's totally evolutionary. But it gets even better. It gets even better. Mr. Anderson and three of the other people on this call write an article a few weeks later that says COVID is not a laboratory construct. And while they're writing that article, there's an email from March 6th where Mr. Anderson offers to let Dr. Fauci edit the article before it's published. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. When the article is published, Dr. Fauci cites it at a White House press conference when he is asked by a reporter about the origin of the virus. Cites the very article he put in motion on the conference call and he was allowed to edit. At the White House, where he's supposed to be giving the American people the truth, he references an article that he manufactured. Now, maybe I'm wrong about all this. Maybe it didn't work out this way. I think I'm right. Maybe it didn't work out this way. But it would have been nice, Mr. Chairman, if Dr. Fauci would come today and answer our questions. He could have come here and defended himself, but he didn't have the courage to do it. And you know who else who wouldn't come? Remember that email about the P3 framework? We invited Dr. Hassel to come too. He's the individual who chairs that oversight board. We invited him to come today too, and he wouldn't come. I'm convinced these guys knew right from the get-go what the truth was, and they misled the American people. Oh, here's the other thing. You know that conference call? That conference call? We got the emails regarding the conference call from February 2nd. All these guys were emailing back and forth. They were on that conference call. Here's what we got on the FOIA request. Here's all their emails. Every single thing is redacted. Every single thing is redacted about what took place in that conference call, because I'm convinced it was at that conference call where they said, we got to cover our tracks. And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But Dr. Fauci could have been sitting right there and answering our questions, and he wouldn't come today. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think he should give himself a little bit more credit than that. I don't think he should. I don't believe he should be saying, I think that's what I know. We know. Most people that's been following this whole thing since 2020, since the viral outbreak, since flattening the curve, what they were all saying in the beginning. Oh, we just got to do this. We just got to do that. Let me tell you something. All right. I believe in a lot of things. All right. Coincidence is not one of them. I don't believe the same time this virus comes out, now all of a sudden the world has to stop. People's children now got to wear a mask to school. That's not all by happenstance. Okay. A lot of this is because we are moving forward into another phase of this world domination, world globalization. They're moving forward, and you hear it all the time from a lot of these presidents. New world order. It's a new world order. New world order. New world order. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, what's that? What is that? Like the mark of the beast or something?" Well, no, it's not. It's just exactly what they want: a new world order. Okay, a new world order means that everyone in lockstep with what the government is doing, what the global government is all about. Most of what this global government is about, at the end of the day, is about controlling me and you. That's all it's about. All right. A lot of times, hey, it doesn't even have anything to do with money. I mean, look at Hollywood. Hollywood went damn near broke because of their sentiments and because of their ideologies. They didn't care. Most of these people are already millionaires anyway. Okay, but this is how far they're willing to go. All right, and we, the people of America, we have a job to do. We have a job to investigate these things. We have a job to investigate people like Dr. Fauci, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. We have a duty to investigate these people and see what's what, and ask them, why aren't you being straight with us? Why do you keep backpedaling? Why do you keep putting your foot in your mouth? Why can't you give simple, straight answers to our direct questions? You need to take these people to task, because I'm telling you right now, when crap hits the fan, and trust me, it will hit the fan. All right. It will hit the fan. These people, I believe, been working on these plans for at least 25, 30 years. And it's not conspiracy theory. Okay. I'm getting real sick of people talking about, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. No, it's not conspiracy theory, because for something to have been a conspiracy, an agenda had to be in place anyway. Okay. There's no such thing as a conspiracy, or an agenda out of a conspiracy. No, only conspiracies can only come out of an agenda that was already in place. All right. Because you got people out there who do read, who do follow stuff like this. All right. I follow maybe 35, 40% of this stuff, because I got stuff I got to do in my day as well. But when I do find, and a lot of people, they want to They want to never mind these people's facial expressions. Why do you think they're all wearing masks? You know, they're all wearing. A lot of people, they want to. Let me tell you something about this mask stuff. All right, for a second, and then I'm gonna just wrap it up. The thing about this mask stuff is to hide your humanity. Same thing as people that wear sunglasses on the inside or sunglasses when it's not sunny outside. A lot of these people that have behavior like that, a lot of these people are sociopaths. Okay, they don't show, they can't, they lack humanity. You know, they don't have any real emotion about anything unless their butt is really on the line. That's what this mask stuff is all about, because you can't really see someone smiling. You can't really see the human emotion aspect of the person, the humanity side of them. It's almost like, you know, they're just, it's almost like just being in the Matrix, actually. You know what I mean? And the mask is your plug. The mask is to mask your humanity. So I wanted to put this up here because I wanted people to just listen, and just be quiet, and listen. Okay. Don't play it in the background. Like, be attentive and listen to what's happening around you. Okay. That's why I do the content that I make. And yes, I will, you know, I'll calm down on the vulgar language and the profanity, because yes, I am better than that. And I will continue to be better than that. But a lot of things have come into fruition these past year and a half, this past 2 years, where a lot of people have showed their true colors. People I've known for years have shown their true colors to me. This vaccine, this unvaccinated vaccine war we're having right now, which shouldn't even be. I tell people plenty of times that this is just the new segregation. All right, it's nothing different than how they segregated blacks and whites from the South. Okay, it's the same political tactics that was done back then is being done now. All right, I put up a meme, well, not a meme, but I put up like a little picture collage. And, you know, of course, people went to the two-dimensional aspect of looking at it. And they said, what do you mean? You can't control your color, but you control whether or not, like, well, that's not why I put it up there. I put the pictures up there because, you know, this is the same political tactics that are being used by the DNC and the globalized and the global community at large of how to segregate people. The main thing is they don't want you talking. They don't want you watching stuff like this. That's why stuff like this comes on during the day while everybody's at work, everybody's at school. You'll never hear about this stuff because, well, granted, you're just not around. And the liberal media, you know, the media at large, they know that the average person is so beat down on their jobs. They're so beat down by just life in general. They got 2-3 kids. They got a husband or they got a wife. You know, they got family, especially during Christmas time. You ever wonder why a lot of things get done? A lot of things get done during the holiday season. Okay, in the political realm, in the government realm. You want to know why a lot of things get done during that time? Because that's the only time no one's really paying attention. Okay? What they say, the devil works where there is the least restraint, where's the least resistance. It's the truth. All right? And that's just what it is. So I urge everybody to just listen. Don't just wait for your chance to talk. Listen. Because, see, people like Dr. Fauci, Don Lemon, CNN, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, these people are not your friends. Okay, these doctors, these people that are jabbing you with these vaccines, these people are not your friends. I was in a ride share not too long ago where I was taking this woman to get a COVID test, and it wasn't her that was getting it. She was giving her 1-year-old child a COVID test. And I'm like, for what? What is wrong with you? Are you nuts? What are you giving your 1-year-old child a COVID test for? Well, she has a a runny nose, and I just want to be sure. I was like, are you crazy, lady? How about that's what babies normally get? Babies normally have runny noses. It's your job as a mother to just take care of it. Okay? Be a mother. Okay, no, not just, and I get it. It was her first child, and I know how men and women are with their first children. I know how I was with my son when he was first born. But I do understand that, hey, runny noses kind of come with babies. That kind of comes with the territory. So babies been having runny noses well before coronavirus came around, well before anything. So just wipe the nose. My God. I mean, seriously? But anyway, that's what I want to say. Just listen. Listen before you speak. Look before you leap. And maybe, just maybe, we can all come out of this together with mind and limbs intact. That's the show. I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.